Going to be talking about my experience on Ink Master. Sonoma, would you move over, buddy? Yes, I know you were there too. And I'm going to be answering some questions here. I have questions that were on Instagram and some other questions that come up if people want to ask any other questions. So the first question I have is, let's see, order. Let's see. How did the idea to paint your helmet come up? I don't know. Producers came up with the idea. I don't know how they thought of that. They've done lots of things in the past for giving back, painting wheelchair, like sides of wheelchairs, but other things that require tattoos but were in memory of people, and I don't know how they came up with that idea, but it was really cool. Where is my helmet sitting right now? Do you think you'll ever wear it? My helmet is somewhere in New Jersey where we filmed it. They were supposed to mail it like right around after we were after it aired, because they don't want anyone to put it on social media, and it needs to be a surprise. If you saw me on Ink Master, you will know that I had some issues with getting my words out. Hello there. And having some trouble talking to Jimmy, who did my helmet, just because of my blind brain and the problems with my brain. So if I'm get stuck, that's what it is. It's real life. So I don't have my helmet yet. With all this going on in the world right now, I don't know when I will get it, but I will get it. They also had to put a protective coating on it, which wasn't talked about on Ink Master. Do you think I'll ever wear it? It actually doesn't fit me. The measurements came out wrong. I think it's going to be a great decoration for my room, but if I need my helmet, hi Danielle, feel free to ask any questions, although I am going through these as well on my paper. I guess I could put like foam kind of in it to help. It's just really big, you couldn't really tell on TV. But luckily all the other contestants' helmets fit. So if I needed it, which hopefully I don't, because of ketamine helping my seizures and my medicine and everything, and having Sonoma alert me, I would wear my usual hockey helmet. But unless I really wanted to pad the other one up and try to make it work, I think it's going to be decoration. How many hours did they have to paint the helmets? They had 4 hours to paint the helmets. After we talked and shared our stories, and that was all wrapped, we left and everyone went out to lunch, except Sonoma, my mom, and I, because Sonoma was on set all day. And he had to be working all day, and we wanted him to have a break, so we went back to our hotel, let him go get busy outside, and let him play. So, and then everyone took a nap, hung out in their hotel room for a little bit, and then we went back after 4 hours. Were you nervous when you went on the show? I was not nervous at all, honestly. Everyone else was really nervous about, oh, did I wear the right thing? And because we did have requirements of certain things to wear, really not to wear logos and things, because they didn't want to, blur them out if they could avoid it. And I wasn't nervous. I love public speaking, as many people know. And I was just so excited to be on this show. I was so excited because I know how backstage things work from being a dancer and behind the scenes. I'm very familiar with that and being on the news, but this was very different. What was my first honest reaction when you saw the helmet? Well, this is interesting because what they didn't show on TV is that I had to react to my helmet twice. So the first time was obviously my immediate reaction, but I don't think they put the first part. I like don't even know because I can't even remember. This was filmed at the end of August. If they put in my first reaction or my second. I thought it was gonna be glossy because I thought it was gonna be like if you see hockey helmets, specifically like goalie helmets, they're like spray painted, and I didn't think it was gonna be acrylic. We had no idea what it was gonna be, just that they're painting helmets. I thought the starfish was really cool. I liked the colors. I don't know if they showed my first reaction or my second. I can't remember. I'm like, obviously I said that, but I don't know which part it was from. So they had me react normally, and then the camera, like, people were like, okay, can you do that again? So he holds it behind his back like he did the first time, and I'm like, should I say the same thing? And I was like, Jimmy, like, what do I do? And he's like, well, just go with it. And he's like, this is the magic of TV. And I was like, okay. So then he goes, all right, ready to see your helmet? And I have to act like surprised. And I honestly don't know which one was put in there. They might have taken a little bit of both. I'm not sure. Other than my own helmet, whose was my favorite? I definitely liked my idea of my helmet the best, because I mean, it was my idea, it was what I wanted, ocean things, so that makes sense. But I loved River's helmet. I thought the pink popped. I thought it was adorable to put a crown around it. Obviously I wouldn't want a crown on mine because that would be a little strange being 22, but I thought hers was amazing because we got to see them all backstage. And when we were backstage, we were, I should say offset, we were actually in the room where they were, when they judge everyone with the risers. That's where we were hanging out the whole time. It was freezing back there, but Rivers was amazing. That was definitely like, whoa, I thought hers really stood out. Was there anything you did that they didn't show? They didn't show us using iPads. So Jimmy had an iPad. We were sitting at a table. They didn't really show the table. They just showed our like waist up. Sonoma was laying on the ground, and we would look at, I'd say, how about, fish and beach or ocean, and he would look up things, so he had references. So that's something people don't know, is they actually had references of what if they wanted to. So he was looking up, tropical fish, and then we were scrolling through his iPad, and I was like, ooh, something like this, and he was like, ooh, the structure of this one, or do you like that one? And then he would screenshot it, and that's how he kept note of different things that I liked and all the tropical things. Then we actually were done talking pretty early. They didn't show me talking about wanting a lot of pink on the helmet. That wasn't shown. They didn't show when we were done, like, we had extra time and people who were still talking. So he's like, okay, I guess we're done, like, unless you want to say anything else, do you want to add anything else? And I was like, no, I think that's good. If you feel good, I feel good. And we had extra time, so he's like, let's just talk. And that's when I was talking about going to the Bahamas. And my friend was like, she texted me and we were talking, and she's like, how do you know you went to the Bahamas 15 times? Because this is at the end, we were talking about Bahamas, and they kept filming us. So I was like really watching what I said because I didn't want anything to be twisted because they could end up putting that in there. Um, and he's asking where I was from, and I'm like, oh, I'm from Connecticut, da da da, asking about Sonoma and how cool he is. And they're still walking around, two camera guys and a microphone guy walking around from every angle, and I'm like, why are they filming this? Like, we're just like talking about like the weather and like all different things, what I like, coach gymnastics, and you know why I got up. Probably, I think we talked about why my helmet was a hockey helmet and like my brother, and so all that was still filmed in case there was anything interesting. Oh, also what wasn't shown was I had a seizure on the set where they weren't filming at this time. It was actually right before. Actually, they were filming, but it wasn't my turn to be filmed. We were doing the critique of our helmet when it was done. So they had the people going in one by one, and I wasn't going in yet. And I had a seizure in the back room where they judge, and the medic that is on the set came and helped me, and one of the people who, Nathan's mom, is a nurse and helped me. So that wasn't shown because they were filming in the other room. And then like a couple minutes later, like after I got better, I was the next one and I had to go do it. And I was like, is my brain gonna work right? They also changed the around orders of things. So when we were standing in the line in the beginning and introducing ourselves, when you look at the screen, as if you're watching TV, we recorded it going left to right, so I was the last one because I was all the way on the right. Yet when they put it on TV, I was the first one to introduce myself, so I don't know why they put me first, and that was all out of order for some reason. Ink Master is a show that I was on, a reality TV show. You can see a lot about it on my YouTube channel. How come your mom wasn't on the show like the other parents were? Well, the two young children obviously had their parents with them because the 2-year-old's not going to be out there by themselves, obviously, he needs a parent. And the 4-year-old was really super duper shy and didn't really speak. She was just shy, so that's that. Nathan wasn't really comfortable speaking much. He said a couple things, but he wanted his mom there to explain things more, and I was like, well, I don't need anyone to talk for me. I can speak for myself. So yeah, I had my mom at the hotel and in the place, but there was no reason for her to be on set with me. I could have had her there, but I didn't need her, so it was just me. Did I have to sit through the Elimination Tattoo? Let me see. Okay, well, I already talked about my other favorite helmet. I did get to say hi to the other contestants. So the Elimination Tattoo, we didn't know anything about what it was until it aired, but we knew they had something. It was not something we were there for because we ended this at 8:30 at night. So that was all they filmed for the rest of the day. Everyone went, they might have done like a couple interviews or something with the artists, but they did not do the Elimination Tattoo that day. I don't know if they did it the next day. So Jeannie has a service dog. She was the one with the fire-breathing turtle helmet, but she just got home from, she had like a long trip from somewhere, plane ride and everything, and then she had a couple days at home and then had to fly in from a little bit away to film Ink Master, which was in New Jersey. Some of it was filmed on the border of New York, where you see the river, and she didn't bring her service dog because they just got home from a long trip and she wanted her dog to have a break and not be working. Back to the Elimination Tattoo. They stopped filming at around 8:30 at night. They did not do the Elimination Tattoo that day. I don't remember if it was 6 hours or 4 hours or what, but it was not filmed that day. I don't know if it was filmed the next day. I know they were really busy, like, filming all the time, but I'm not sure if that was filmed that day. But it makes it seem like it was all that day, which is funny. My favorite thing about being on the show, I loved getting to be a part of all, like, seeing all the cameras and being behind the scenes. Like, it was just so cool. They didn't show that we had, when we were walking in the very beginning, just walking in, everyone had to be a certain amount of space apart because they wanted to look uniform. So if someone was a little too close or a little too far, we would walk back, and come back in, and we had to walk like 5 different times, and then someone would be like looking at the camera or something didn't go right, and then you have to walk back in again. So we filmed each part multiple times because we had to practice walking, and then someone would mess up on their introduction and they would keep filming it. I'm reading this. Did you enjoy the rest of the season? Oh boy, where'd it go? Any favorite artists or canvases? Jimmy and Angel are definitely my favorite artists. Canvases, I don't know, I can't think of a tattoo off the top of my head. The ones that they did for the 25-hour back and chest pieces were insane. Like, oh my goodness. Angel did a lot of amazing work, and Jimmy did really clean tattoos, and it was pretty amazing. I'm actually, if you don't know, I'm not a fan of tattoos at all. My personal preference, I would never get a tattoo, but seeing them there and seeing them do that, like, I can totally appreciate it because it is such an art. Who was the favorite participant you met? My mom would say it's Dave Navarro because he's super famous, and I got a hug and talk to him for a minute and a picture. But I mean, I talked to Jimmy the most, and he was just so sweet, so I really liked being with Jimmy. And with Jeannie, that was really fun. We created a close friendship. How many hours did it take to film? We had to be in the lobby of the hotel. We were all in the same hotel by like 7:30 in the morning, I think, on the 31st. And then we got special cars from like the people of Ink Master drive us like a whole 5 minutes away to where we filmed. And we were there from 8 to maybe like 1:30 or something. Then there was the 4 hours where they were painting the helmets that we weren't there. And then I think we were on set for like 8 or 10 hours total because it went to 8:30 at night. It was a lot, but it was super duper fun. How did they know the sizing of the helmets, or did they just guess? They asked about my current helmet and I had to send them pictures. I was actually texting the casting producer and showing her my hockey helmet, what it said on the inside, that it was a child size, even though like not a baby, but it wasn't an adult size one, and sent her pictures and then of the writing on the inside, but it's different because it's a hockey helmet, and so I guess it was kind of hard to match that size. How did it come about that you would be on the show? I'm just reading this. I will answer that in a second. I had no idea about Ink Master. I didn't know about the show at all. I didn't know it existed, but on one of my YouTube videos, it was a like 10-second video of me doing a 10-foot recall with Sonoma in team training, and I had my helmet on. The casting producer commented on my video that they were interested in me for a reality TV show, and I thought it was complete spam, and said to email this email if interested. And I was like, I don't know, that sounds kind of weird. But I showed my brother and I asked him about like Ink Master and is this legit, and then I looked up her name and she was on the internet as a casting producer or casting director, I don't remember, of Ink Master, and then I realized it was for real. So then I emailed them and said that I was definitely interested. So that's how that happened. I do not have the helmet yet, so people have commented on how it looks from TV, from the pictures and things that I have on my Instagram, and it should not fade because it has a protective coating on it, but I haven't seen it completely finished with that coating on because of the virus going on. That's not really their top priority right now, to be sending out helmets. So those are the questions that I have on my sheet. I'm trying to think of anything else. Ask questions if you have them. Anything else that people would want to know? Yeah, I'll just wait a minute if anyone wants to ask any more questions. We did have to sign a document saying we would not, hi Kira, sign a document to say that we would not speak of anything of the show, and that they were allowed to use their creative something to like change your, like they could mix up your words, but they said that that wasn't a thing that was really going to happen on this episode because they wanted it to be real and to be like aw and happy, and I was worried that like they would change something and make me look like I didn't like it or I was not nice or something, but they didn't do anything like that. Oh, everyone loved Sonoma. They did have to tell all the camera people, lighting people, and all of the artists to ignore him. I said, just pretend he's not there, just ignore him. And so they told them all that beforehand, before he came in, and Jimmy was great about it. Sonoma just hung out on a blanket. Actually, no, I didn't have a blanket because I would have walked out with it. He just laid on the floor and watched me very intently, which showed how great of a service dog he is. So people were fantastic about not touching him and not doing things that they shouldn't for a service dog. Very, very polite, and they thought he was adorable. So that's it. You can ask any more questions in the comments and I will respond to them. Maybe I will do a part 2 of this if I think of more things, because I'll probably think of things right when I finish, because that's how my brain works. Thank you for watching. See you later.